I almost
What a
switched it to
movie.
Taken last minute, but that'll probably be this
Taken?
week. Yeah. The
Like
other,
Liam Neeson's Taken?
maybe it's not called Taken.
Hi, I'm Danielle,
And I'm Dell.
and this is the Black Catch-Up, where we're catching up on iconic black media we missed out on in our more conservative religious childhood.
All right, so today. All right, so today we watched Woo.
Yes, we did. Another Jada Pinkett movie, Jada Pinkett Smith. This is our third one. If I upload these as we do them, it'll be the second one this week. We apparently had a theme, but here we go. As always, IMDb. Gorgeous and extrovert Wu meets insecure and straight-laced law clerk Tim at a blind date.
Okay.
So that is
as usual,
Woo.
starting off with things we liked. Yeah, I think I'll start this one.
Okay.
I found this movie like really funny. Like I was laughing a lot during this one, and I like how it didn't take itself too seriously. It was like I was kind of expecting more like a Love Jones, Love Act, like those movies where we're kind of like watching some relationship kind of struggle to be together, but it was kind of just that one date they went on, and it was just like a lot of shenanigans, a lot of chaos. Jada Pinkett Smith was hilarious in this one. I thought she had like really good, just like comedic timing. Yeah, I just found this one like really funny.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah.
We had the exact opposite experience
Really?
with this movie. Because I literally have only one thing. And my one thing was that I more or less liked the movie up until she went to Tim's house. I just like the setup, the idea of it, of Jada Pinkett is like someone who's down on her romantic luck, and she goes to see a psychic, and the psychic's like, oh, you're going to meet the man of your dreams soon. He's a Virgo. And she originally doesn't want to go on the blind date, but then when she finds out she's Virgo, she's like, okay, we're going to make this work no matter what. And then she goes and sees it's Tim, and he's not who she thinks she is, but she like still really feels the psychic. So up until that point, I enjoyed the movie and thought that the premise of like the idea of that was very solid, and that's literally all I liked.
Oh man. I will say I honestly didn't have much else either. Like I just thought it was really funny. And honestly, I will say I think some of my laughter was definitely me laughing at the like absurdity of this stuff going on.
Okay, yeah, I can
Which
see
I
that.
think
It
that still is
it
a
was
tribute to-
crazy.
Yeah, it definitely was, but like the scene at them at like the date at the like first restaurant they go to where she like
Yes.
pulls the thing and like causes the chandelier to come, and then you just see her
Yeah.
outside like looking at her nails kind of thing with the chaos in the background. Like I don't know, I just found it like surprisingly funny for this one. And again, I think I was also kind of coming in expecting to get that kind of like slow, dreary, kind of like usual romantic drama kind of movie we get sometimes, but
Yeah. I get what you mean.
yeah, it was definitely like a lot different, I thought.
This was different than what I thought it would be too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I had any other like scenes I really liked or anything. Yeah, I just found it like I just found myself laughing a lot at this one. I also like thought Dave Chappelle's. I think he's funny, and like even like the chicken
Oh, I
hoe
did like.
thing.
I
thought
did think that was funny too. I will say that. Yes.
And again, just like one of those like super like over the top, just like really goofy. Like this is probably one of the goofiest movies I think we've watched on this channel. Like,
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
I think maybe
it
like
might be.
Nutty Professor. I think it's probably goofier than Nutty Professor, but at least
Nutty
of like the
Professor was
recent
goofy.
ones. But
Yeah.
yeah, I guess should we just get into negatives now?
If you have more positives, go, because positives is
mean,
going to be your time to shine.
It was a 90-minute movie. Like there was like I thought it was funny, and that was about it. You know. Yeah, we can get into negatives. Oh man.
As much as I didn't like this movie, I don't have that many negatives, only because my biggest gripe was that this movie didn't really have a plot. I just didn't understand it. Wu went on this date, which again, like I said, I understood it up until the point where she just starts. I don't like saying this word, but she just started acting crazy, and I wasn't
did.
understanding her logic for doing anything. I wasn't understanding it. She would just like. Even when she's like crying in the bedroom saying that her cousin used to wear like that perfume
Yeah,
or something
yeah,
like that. And it just made, and with her, the way she was acting and the way that Tim was acting, on the Wikipedia it said that Tim is enamored by her. I didn't get that note. I did not get that. That was not what was coming across on the screen to me. So to me, it just seemed like they were two very incompatible people trying to force a date for a very long time. When I would have just been like, well, this obviously is not working out. Like, I'm this crazy, wild, fun, free person, and you're whatever it is you are, Tim. I don't know, but I just was not. It was just. I think it's just because I didn't understand why she was doing anything. And then in the end, when her little, when her psychic, drag psychic goddess friend or whoever that was, she asked, the psychic was like, well, did you really give him a chance? And she was like, I guess I did. And I'm like, what? And she was like, yeah, this guy's, is he as bad as you think? And I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about anymore. Like, the way she went back to him to, like, say they should be together didn't make a lick of sense. Because, the entire movie didn't make sense. It just was not a movie. It was just a lot of things happening.
I fully agree with all of that. Because I, like, especially in the beginning, I was also confused at that scene. Because in that scene, it seemed like, oh, she's a normal girl, but she, is hearing the friends talk about her, so she wants to make herself seem crazy to get them to leave. That I was like, okay. But then she, just kept getting crazier during the movie.
Yeah.
But it seemed like, it was hard to tell if, they meant for her to be crazy or if they meant for her to, it almost seemed like this movie is, like, a parody movie of those kind of, rom-coms where, the couple's not great. They have their kind of problems. They battle all the movie, but at the end they, stay together because of love. It felt almost like a parody of that in a sense where, okay, let's take these two characters, have them go on, the absolute worst date possible, have, everything go wrong, and then just have them still be together in the end because why not? It was definitely a very strange movie. I will definitely say that. It was very, very strange. The one note I did have, actually have a couple negatives, but it felt like this movie was just, written by a bunch of, really horny dudes. That is kind of what it felt like. And so, it barely felt like a movie. I thought it was funny, but, again, there wasn't really a plot. Even the first scene where she comes, where she first comes into the house and is, unzipping dudes' pants kind of thing. It just felt like it was kind of written by horny dudes. And even, his friend group was also super horny. It was a really weird film. It definitely was a very weird film.
Yeah. To your point about it being a parody, about it seeming like a parody movie, I think the reason I probably would have enjoyed it if it was a parody movie, but only because parody movies kind of know they're making fun of something, and this movie kind of was almost taking it too serious, the fact that she was literally insane. I think the problem with her character was I didn't know if she was doing it as a test. Or, because, the one scene that wasn't completely confusing to me was when she was at Tim's house, and he was like, yeah, I could just see you as a sister. And she then starts, immediately, flirting with him to, be like, oh, you see me as a sister? Okay, what if I, turn it all the way on? Do you still see me as a sister? And, he's getting, flustered, and she's like, yeah, sister, right? But I understood that little, whatever, 2-3 minute scene. I understood that. But then the movie kept having her do things like that. And it's is she testing him? Is this just her personality? I just couldn't get a read on who she was as a person to want to root for her. I was I don't, and I couldn't root for Tim because I just can't. But
the thing I had
was
about that,
I don't know what.
I thought they didn't give us any background on her character before the date. And so, when she comes to the date and starts acting crazy, I don't know if that's her acting crazy in the context of the date, or is she actually crazy, outside of this?
Yeah.
I have no idea what her life is like outside of talking to this dude. So, there's no, baseline for me to compare her to, So, it definitely, it was hard to, justify any of her actions because, again, does she always go to restaurants and, talk shit and, cause problems, I
apparently
don't know,
at the club she gets kicked out a lot. That was the only thing I gleaned from that.
Yeah, it seemed like she was well known, but we knew nothing about her, and even by the end of it, I still felt like I knew nothing about her.
I fully don't. I
You
feel as though
know?
they tried to make her like this almost manic pixie dream girl type of thing, where she's just because every time a guy was around her, they were like automatically in love with her and wanting to give her everything, and like from the police officer to the bouncer to her ex boyfriend, yada yada yada. Everyone was in love with her, and I think that was kind of like what they were trying to put it off as. And he even said, "You're used to being so fine that you like don't understand when you're being like wild or something like that." I can't even remember what he said.
He said something like you're. Oh no, I don't know. Remember what he said either. I thought you were saying a different quote because he said something about like, oh, you don't know when you have a fine man like me. I thought you were going to point to that quote, but I don't know.
Oh
I know
no,
which
that
quote
was
you're
a different
talking about,
quote,
yeah,
and
that
I
was a
don't like
different
when
one.
people say that.
I don't
like when people say that. Don't call yourself a fine man. Don't call yourself a fine woman. Don't say you don't recognize when you have a fine. Don't say that ever.
Yeah.
I don't like that. But he said something about her like you're so used to being fine that you and getting away with everything that you don't know yada yada yada. I don't remember what he said exactly, but I thought it was gonna be a thing where she's just like used to it and he's like not in love with her, and it seemed like he was. But then I read the summary of it and it was like he is in love with her, and that just I couldn't get a good gleam on either of those characters, and I think that was like the biggest ding for me. I just didn't understand. It just wasn't a plot. It wasn't a movie. It was just like a lot of things going around and Jada Pinkett like dancing and having fun, and I'm glad she was having fun. But I also said it didn't seem like the actors knew what was going on in the movie, just because some of the acting was very uneven and almost seemed like they were like reading the script at the same time as they were shooting, and the director was like feeding the lines into their ear by like a chip or something like that, and they were like, yeah, and you don't know what it means to have a fine, and I'm like, you don't sound convincing at all. Like,
Yeah.
I
thought there were a lot of like scenes where like the mood of the scene would just kind of like abruptly switch. You know, it'd kind of go from them like again just reading lines, and then they like realize, oh, I'm supposed to get mad in this scene, and then the tone kind of changes, and then they like storm off. So it was like definitely a lot of weird stuff, but that stuff made me laugh in this one, which is why I think I laughed so much in this one. But I don't think it was like a well crafted movie, but I just thought it was hilarious at times. But yeah, like again, like it was very hard to tell anyone's motivations. Especially Jada Pinkett's. I couldn't tell her motivations at all.
Yeah.
The guy, like again, like it felt like he was just horny. Like that's kind of what it felt like, which is why he kept going back. And like I don't even know if he did keep going back, but I guess that's why they ended up together in the end. But
or why he kept like following after her. Or
yeah, or like kept trying, you know, because like for me, after the first, if we go on a date to a restaurant and it's bad, I'm not going other places with you. You know,
you're not getting me to a second location. The most I'll do is if I picked you up is I'll take you home.
Yeah, especially like this is first, like y'all just met too. Like why are y'all like I don't know. That was another negative I had. Like it was like this was a day, but it felt so much longer. Like it not we don't call them, what are they called? Not bottled episodes, but like when it's just the one day snapshot kind of thing.
Oh, I don't know what that's called.
Yeah, it's like that's what this movie should have been, but it like just was so weird and like just so many like scenes that didn't mean anything, or like just so many like random clips thrown together almost, you know, that like it didn't really feel like you knew where you were, or like you didn't know anything about these people, or like you didn't care about them, you know, like at all.
That was the bummer about it to me, is because normally on this show, I say I like the 24-hour thing where it's like, we're just here for one day because I can understand the stakes. I can understand like what we're doing and the time period and all that stuff. But for this, it just like the night seemed to drag on a long time, and they went to several places. I was like,
they went to a lot of places.
Is it like 6 a.m. at the end of this? Like, how are you guys still going places? And when his car just got hit by a truck at the end, I was like, what did we even do?
See, that's what had me dying, because like the truck had so much time to stop.
I know,
like even him pulling off and just like peeling and like drifting in the middle of the street and just getting out, like
that was wild.
Just a lot of just dumb stuff happened in this movie.
Yeah. I guess the last thing I have was the big three: misogynistic, homophobic, transphobic, especially with those friends when they went to that, I think it was a drag queen club. I honestly have no clue. But, because again, it's very hard to figure out where you are in this movie, but didn't like it. That was another ding against me for this movie.
Yeah, that was honestly, like, that was probably the one scene where I was just like, am I supposed to be laughing at this? Like, this is not actually that funny or anything, but... Yeah, I had that written down as well, especially that scene because it felt so drawn out too, you know.
Yeah.
And the friends were like kind of useless in the context of the movie, aside from just giving the, again, like horny male perspective, you know, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I guess is it ratings time? I don't think I had anything else.
Yeah, I have nothing else too.
All right. Yeah, I guess you can kick it off.
Me? In a first for this channel, I give this a 0. Like,
Oh, okay.
I didn't have any fun. Like, at one point, I was mad at you. I was like, why did you make me watch this?
Oh, no.
I was like, what is this movie?
Oh, no.
Just the fact that there was no plot. I don't think I laughed. I did not have fun. It was not great. Well, actually, that's not true. I think I laughed at the Paula J. Parker, Dave Chappelle chicken thing. I thought that was relatively amusing, but it didn't fit in the movie.
No, it didn't.
I didn't have fun. There was no plot. I didn't understand the characters or their motivation. Like, this was a 0. That means, you know what? When I edit, I have a folder with all the star rating system. I don't even have a 0. I have to go find one to like put in here. But I didn't like this that much.
Oh man.
I didn't like it. I didn't have fun at all.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. I laughed a lot at this one. I gave it 2.5.
Okay.
It was like quick, and I just laughed a lot. Like I like seeing Jada Pinkett Smith too. I thought she just had like really good comedic timing. Like a lot of her like she would do a lot of like little facial expressions, kind of like looks at the camera that I thought were funny. Yeah, there was just a lot of laughter, and again, there wasn't a plot. So to me, I think once I registered this in my head as a parody movie, I enjoyed it a lot more. But had that not happened, like probably would have cut it off. But yeah, this one wasn't as bad for me. This definitely wasn't as bad for me.
Oh man.
But that was woo.
Oh, God.
One of us.
Do you
was
wish
not
you saw
wooed.
this sooner?
No, there's no need to see this one sooner.
I also say no.
Yeah. I'm probably in the wish I never saw it category.
I won't say I wish I never saw it, but I kind of get your thing when you say you look at it as a parody movie. But for me, the only reason I don't think of it as a parody movie is because the tone is wrong. Like, for it to be a parody movie.
Yeah, because I don't think it is a parody movie. You know, like, it definitely isn't.
It isn't. It's not.
Yeah.
But I can see liking it if you think it's like a parody movie of the thing where it's like the people only get back together because the script calls for it or something like that. Like, it definitely had that because that's literally why they got back together in the end.
Yeah,
up until that point, I just couldn't understand any character motivations. Like, I think of a good parody movie for a romance was They Came Together, which has Paul Rudd and Amy Poehler. That was a funny parody movie of like those rom-coms where they like they coincidence their way into being together. But this one, I did not have fun.
Yeah. All right, so that was woo. YouTube housekeeping, like, comment, subscribe.
Ring the bell for notifications. If you have any suggestions for us, you can leave them in the comments down below. We do movies on Tuesdays and Fridays. All of our socials will be linked in the description box down below, and we'll see you next time to catch up. Bye! Yeah. I will say we had Paula J. Parker, who I didn't know based on her face, but she plays Trudy Proud in the Proud Family. So I was like, her voice is familiar. I was like, she sounds so familiar. Why do I know her? And I was like, I've never seen her, but then it was Paula J. Parker.
Wasn't Tommy in there too?
Who?
Tommy. Oh, the guy who played the main guy. He was also in the Proud Family. He played Oscar Proud.
Oh. I didn't know that one.
Yeah, no, I looked it up right before the video because, like, I feel like we haven't seen anything with this guy in it, but
we haven't. His face looked a little familiar though to me.
It did, but it looks like he hasn't been in much.
Oh man, is this how Oscar and Trudy really met?
Yeah.
Oh man, but that was a surprise for me. Oh man, Woo. That's the one good thing that came out of Woo for me, the Proud Family.